We then proceeded at that point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids! All right!
Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
And welcome back to another exciting episode of the Lunch Break Show. I am Josh, in studio with Zach. In the booth is Matt. We're here doing the Lunch Break Show for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're basically a water cooler style show, and then you would discuss in your office or your workplace. We want to discuss that here with you now. We're available on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We love reading your feedbacks and your comments. We'll try to get to as many of those as possible, so please log on and act accordingly. Topping off the story today is a very interesting article about kids. I'm the only one that has one, but we all can feel like we can share openly and honestly about how we raise up today's youths.
We're just the ones to do this job.
Yeah, we are.
We can criticize other people who have kids. Yeah.
So there's an article that came out, because for us, my wife and I are not shy about our language with each other. We're a very adult company. We speak the way that we would speak normally. We're not like foul-mouthed heathens.
Right.
But if a certain word that is is of the $5 or $10 variety, we would be okay with dropping that.
How do you put a price on that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. They didn't call it a $5 word.
I mean, normally that just means a long word for me.
Oh,
It's whatever you're willing to put in the swear jar, right?
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately, your young son is young enough that none of that matters yet, right? You haven't reached that window where he's like actually absorbing that information and is able to turn it back.
Yeah.
Still young enough. There's like he's glue and you're rubber. He's rubber and you're glue. I
That's
guess.
the one.
Yeah. Like it just bounces right off him. It doesn't matter. It will matter at some point.
Not true.
But okay.
He is one. And the other day, so basketballs.
Basketballs.
I was changing his diaper, and I said, "Oh, hey, basketballs," for example.
What? Why?
Because I was changing his diaper, and I'm singing a song about changing the diaper. Anyway, either way, he repeats back the last part of basketballs to me. I'm like, ooh, it was like the light bulb of I need to be careful what I say to my son from this point forward.
But it's not like he has context for that. He's just saying a sound that he heard you say.
Does it matter? Because he loves saying balls now. Like, as far as like,
sure. Why not?
Because like he has all kinds of balls all throughout. He's like ball. So, but what I don't want him to do is like hit himself in the diaper and then go ball. That looks like a very crude kid. And he's not. He's an upstanding young gentleman.
Sure.
And I need to raise him that way.
Sure.
I need to do a better job raising him to be the upstanding gentleman that he is.
Yeah.
However, scientists disagree with that.
Okay.
There's a new study that is out that says that allowing your kids to swear is actually good for you.
All right. I'm interested in this.
Okay. Please, go ahead. Because I have thoughts, but I don't want to get too far ahead of... I don't want to put the cart before the horse.
The broad strokes is that that they feel like being able to verbalize how you truly feel. And that is true. There's sometimes that gosh darn and shucks don't fully encapsulate how I feel.
Sure.
And so when you're able to put out your feelings verbally, you're not holding them in.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is better for you in the long run. I think a lot of people could agree with that. Not holding in your feelings or your words is better for you. So being able to pull that valve and release that steam through choice verbiage is better for their mental health long term.
Cursing can be a beautiful thing when used properly.
It can be.
Sure. Okay. I'm on board so far.
So that's what they're saying. They're saying that is it. That is the broad stroke.
So it's not even a matter of teaching your children not to, it's this idea of taking something away from your kids where, oh, that's forbidden. And so then they want it more. It's more, this will expand their vocabulary if you teach them to curse early on in life.
Yeah, no, it's just a matter of, giving them the tools needed to express themselves.
Right.
Giving them the tools to say, this is how I feel, and I don't feel like saying, shucks, or fiddlesticks. I feel like this word best encapsulates my feeling right now, and I'm going to say it. I don't want to be punished for expressing myself. This is America.
Right. Okay. Like communism, I agree with this on paper. But when you put it into practice, things start to fall apart. I think in the realm of like expanding your child's mind and helping them express how they truly feel and teaching them that we live in a world where you can be honest with everybody, and if you put yourself as your best foot forward, you truly will find success. I agree. But at the same time, like, kids are always looking to impress. They're always looking to show the world that they can do something cool, right? They learn tricks, or they try out a new joke, and like curse words, like right when you hit middle school, I think it's like opening a valve, like you said. You are opening up the realm of possibility to start saying things that you weren't allowed to say before, these forbidden words. And if you just give these to your kids and say you can use them whenever you feel like it, like, you're really opening up a couple potential
I totally agree.
doors for misdirection. Anna was quick to point out in the comments, like, there's also that study that says like intelligent people are more likely to swear. I guess I agree. Stop. Just mugging the camera, like, yeah. I guess in concept I agree, but like, I don't know. That seems it seems like the kind of thing. You remember when if you ever did poorly in a math test and your parents would be like, what happened? And you could be like, well, Einstein failed math. That's what this feels like. Like the shorthand, lazy excuse for your child cursing. Well, this study says that you could do it and it's good for them. Like, I don't know.
I mean, look, speaking as someone who doesn't have a child and is not raising a young human, I feel like I should weigh in on this.
Please, go ahead.
But I mean, I think it's one of those things where I didn't curse when I was growing up, and it was never my parents never really told me not to. I guess it was just something I understood was, cursing is not great. I mean, I'm sure somebody had to tell me at some point, but it was never one of these forbidden fruit type things. I just didn't do it because we didn't really curse around the house, although I hear my dad curse every now and then. So it was like, I never felt the need to take that and go out into the rest of the world and be like, look at what a young, brash upstart I am, and here I am cursing in my classes and doing this and that. So I think if handled properly, it's not that big a deal to curse around your kids, as long as they understand, okay, this is, you don't say this in polite company, just as we do as adults. Just like teaching them words, I think it's important to teach them the context in which to use them. You mentioned your dad using them. Sure. My dad did too, and it was great because he only ever really cursed when we were like out in the garage working on a car and it was like 102 degrees out and mom wasn't around. And that taught me there are these big words you can use, and there's a proper time to use them. And mostly, that's important. Yeah.
When mom's
not around. Exactly. It's all about who's around and reading the room and knowing when it's okay to say something and when it isn't okay to say something. And that's important. And I worry if you're just openly throwing these words around under the impression that, kids will be fine and they'll figure it out. Like, that's dangerous. But in the right context, I think it's true. Yeah. Which reminds me, if we're about to ship off this topic, I had a question about being a parent. I heard a phrase about having kids, and I was curious what you thought. I heard this description for having a kid, and I figured you might have something to speak towards about it. I heard that having a kid is like having your heart outside of your body, and it just runs around and does its own thing, and you can't control it, and you just have to kind of like figure out, like, okay, I guess this is fine, and like, how apt is that?
I mean, having a kid, there's a lot of things that I said sans kids that I was going to do differently. And, oh, man, parents, they're doing this all wrong.
Sure.
And just wait till I have
Oh,
mine.
yeah.
And
As
then,
evident, you know a lot about raising kids before you actually have
course,
them.
yeah.
Right.
And then you have one and you realize, oh, that's why everyone just totally gives up. And like, they bend this rule and that rule.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trial and error. And I don't think I'll ever fully be like, I've got it.
Yep.
I'm always like, nope, I'm screwing this up daily, and just trying my best. And it's a tit for tat with me and my wife, trying to just like tag teams the best that we possibly can.
Since you've had a kid, would you say you're more or less skeptical of like the average parenting author?
Skeptical?
Yeah.
I'm way more skeptical of parenting authors
Now.
Yeah, now.
Than you were before.
I think I am just entirely, because they all say they have, like, here's the proof that this works, or here's the evidence that, follow these 10 steps, and everything's a crapshoot. Everything you try, either it works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And either that doesn't work, and so I'm going to go to this other plan, or I'm going to go on this blog and find this, and I'll try it. Sure, I'll try this.
Sure.
Your kid's not eating vegetables. Well, try this. It's all a crapshoot.
Right.
And you just do the best that you can. And, when we first started off, it was like, we're not going to do any screen time for 3 years. He'll never see a TV on for 3 years.
Wow.
And there's a hard stance. And now he watches like 10 minutes of Daniel Tiger a day, which to me, 10 minutes isn't that bad.
And Daniel Tiger's wholesome.
It's great. But it's again, so it's like just setting those parameters and going, you know what, we're going to be okay with this, not okay with that. It's all a crapshoot.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just curious how you felt about that as a parent. Anyway, I'm sorry.
There you go. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, though, we have a very exciting Jesse LeBeau in studio talking about this FBI agent whose dance moves could kill. That and more coming up next on the Lunch Break Show. And we are back in studio. I am Josh again, as always, followed with Zach and Matt in the studio. We're here with Jesse LeBeau. How's it going there, sir?
I'm excited. This is big.
So now you are from what I saw, your website. You're a big deal, because I've seen you speaking to groups of like thousands of people, and you do inspirational stuff meant toward teens, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. I dribble a basketball around. I talk to kids. Yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun. Maybe some Hollywood special effects to make it look cooler, but
No.
I'm not as excited in person.
It works.
Okay, cool. We'll take it.
So now tell me this. I see you on video pulling up, and you have your RV out front, and you do like podcasts out of there. Is that like your like tour bus? You travel around in the RV?
Yep. We got a tour bus. We wrapped it, put my ugly mug on it, put a basketball hoop on the back so it pulls down so we can pull up and immediately have a basketball party anywhere we go, blast the music, have a good time. And yeah, so we do a podcast out of it. And it's kind of like car karaoke. I get in there and I'm like, hey, Jennifer's my manager. Like, where are we going today? And she'll be like, oh, we're going to go to Malibu. And then we pull up and we're at Dean Kane's house. So we do like fun stuff like that. And it's
That's
like always
cool.
a surprise. Except I can't sing at all, so I would just embarrass myself mostly.
So now, as I've seen before, you get on there, you dance around, you have fun with the kids, all this kind of stuff. So this is an example of, and again, your website is what again?
Just my name, jesselebeau.com.
There you go. So you can go there and you can find all the stuff. You really, guys, you have to check it out. The website looks amazing. So this is a story of a guy who was also doing some dance moves. He's an FBI agent. This is off hours.
Oh, jeez.
At a bar in Denver, having a great time. And I think instead of saying, I'm just going to show you the video. Go ahead and play that video, Matt.
I don't believe there's any sound, by the way.
Okay, so you can imagine the
describe
music.
what's going on
Yeah, he does a backflip. Gun falls out, goes to grab the gun fires off into the crowd. My favorite part is as he's walking away after putting the gun back in the holster, he has his hands up like, it's cool.
He played it off.
Yeah,
So
it's
a
cool.
party.
Guys, come
It's
on.
a dance party.
No, don't worry about it.
But that guy got a shot on me. Yeah, on me. Yeah, shot for shot.
Right.
He
He took shots for us. We should take shots
Yeah.
for him.
Obviously, nothing like that has ever gone that way for you. But first off, how good was his dancing? I would say it's on point. The
Honestly,
guy seemed like he was.
Can we see it? Can we see it again?
Yeah,
Can we
yeah,
get it?
totally.
I need to. That was so much to.
There's a lot to take in there. Yeah. So he's dancing.
I mean, for a white guy, honestly, pretty good.
A lot of movement in the
yeah,
leg.
I mean, the
yeah.
backflip is really impressive here coming up.
Gun.
Oh,
And no, and it definitely fires.
man.
Yeah, definitely
It
fires.
definitely fires.
Yeah. So a customer was shot, not fatally, shot in the leg, so they're fine.
Okay. Thoughts and
but
prayers
he
with the victims.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers. He was taken to the local police station, not charged yet. FBI hasn't commented. But the two things that stand out about that video is, one, phenomenal dancer. You can see why he felt comfortable cutting a rug.
Yeah.
Maybe invest in a better holster for the gun.
It didn't even look like he had one. It looked like he was doing the old school tuck down the back of your pants.
I think he
No,
routine.
I don't think there was a holster.
There was.
Oh, there was.
It's
Really?
one of those like old school brown holsters
Okay.
that go
Okay.
in the back belt. But that doesn't have a clip on the front.
Right. And there are newer ones that you can do that, like with the push of a button, you can release it. There are some that hold
Yeah.
your gun in if you
Yeah.
choose to do a backflip
Yeah.
in the heat of a battle or something like that.
If you're gonna cut a rug on a Friday night in Denver, just be sure and have a strap that covers the gun up.
I mean, I feel like I'm upset with the holster industry at large right now. If they can't handle a backflip, I mean, they need to be able. These are times of critical situations. If they
Yeah.
can't handle a backflip,
Then
they need to go.
tough times.
Yeah, tough times.
Backflip approved only for me when it comes to my holsters.
That's one of the bullet points. Can withstand backflips at a moment's notice.
Real quick, is anybody under the impression this man was completely sober?
Oh, there's no way.
Absolutely not.
You don't dance that freely sober.
Exactly. In a crowd that big, with a space that large, and you're in the middle throwing out your sick moves, and then you do a backflip. Clearly, you're not completely in your right mind, especially if you're an off-duty FBI agent packing heat. Safety off.
He knew.
Doing backflips.
Yeah. He
with
knew.
a holster with no top clip. Yeah. So
Khaki pants.
I think he may have had a brief loss in judgment, right? Also, as seen by him trying to walk away casually with
and
his
raise
hands
the
up.
roof. Raise the
Like
roof.
nobody noticed that gunshot that went off in the middle of this bar. Maybe if you're going to a bar and you're going for it, you're some drink to remember. This guy drinks to forget. If you're drinking like that,
Crazy legs.
don't come.
I can't believe people don't like flee.
Don't come packing.
One guy
guy
does.
does,
One
one
guy
guy
is
does.
like, I'm out.
I love that you can see people like, oh, there's a guy
Everybody
back there
else
holding up
remains
his
pretty
phone,
calm.
like just filming
He's
it,
like, "No."
just like this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some bad judgment on behalf of the FBI agent. I know he's off duty, and it's not necessarily his job to be on judgment. But if you come with a firearm,
He's
right?
a backflip guy. You don't go out being a backflip guy and know that you're not going to do a backflip. He knew going into that night
You're
before he
not
went
wrong,
out, when he put on the
Jesse.
outfit, he knew.
If you got
He
that,
needs to
if
get
you've
the
got that
appropriate
ability,
holster. You're
I'm
doing
busting backflips out
I would
all
be doing
the
it
time.
right now.
All
If
the
I
time.
could, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He
I'm
could have
upset.
kept
I'm
his
just
gun.
upset.
He could have kept his gun in his holster if he had room for the backflip in his back pocket. I don't know what I was going for, but yeah. He knew what he was doing.
So, Jesse, obviously this has never happened to you, but you perform in front of thousands of people. You do your dance move. I see you spin basketballs around. Has something ever just colossally failed and you're in front of a large group? How do you respond with again, this guy had the hands up, no big deal.
Yeah.
You have the ability to play it off that well.
The key is to always act like you did it on purpose. Tough in his situation. Tough in his situation. Granted, I will say tough in his situation.
Yeah.
I was on live news in San Diego one time, and real pretty blonde news anchor, and we're doing the thing, and she's like, "Well, can you teach me a trick?" And so I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So I'm like, "I'm just gonna spin it on her finger."
Yeah.
Spin it on her finger. Immediately goes off her finger, drills her in the face. Bobby Lee, you know Bobby Lee, the comedian?
Yeah.
He's there, happened to be at that, and he loses it behind the camera going nuts. And I'm just like, gotcha! And then walked off. Like, I don't know. I mean, some things you just, I think the walk off and raise the roof maybe is the best move. I'm going to start implementing that myself.
Yeah, look
Like
at that.
anytime something horrible happens, just be like,
Yeah,
all
it's all
right,
good.
just gonna-
Just
next
walk
time
away.
this video
Bring it down.
completely falls apart, I'm walking out that way.
Oh god.
Jesse, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, sir. Again, that's
Thank you.
JesseLebeau.com. Go check him out. You guys need to have him in your school, in your church, in your organizations. He is phenomenal. Love you. Thank you so much for coming by. Up next, we have Sarah Strackhouse in the news, getting you up to date on the latest info.
Wasn't really.
Did your parents say you could have a party?
No.
So
They didn't.
why did you?
I don't know, it was just a get together with a couple mates at first, and then we thought we might as well just have a bit of a party, and then it sort of just got out of hand, and yeah.
Well, 500 people turned up, the air wing of the police force, the dog squad, your neighbours' cars were being destroyed. What have your parents had to say, Corey?
I haven't really talked to them because every time they call, I don't answer, because yeah, they probably try to kill me.
So that's a short-term strategy. You're going to have to talk to them eventually. What are you going to say?
Sorry.
Are you sorry?
Yeah, I am.
You don't sound very sorry.
But I can't be exactly pulling it happened because it wasn't in the house, it was out in the street, and I didn't do it like the police.
I could watch that clip all day. That guy.
That guy's amazing.
Oh, the party kid?
Yeah, the party
I love
kid.
everything
Oh,
about him.
the next, I don't know if we have time for him, but I snuck in 2 more breaks with the rest of that interview, so
Yeah,
stay tuned.
the next, his story will continue,
Yes. Oh,
thank
folks.
God.
Don't worry
We've got
about
2
it.
more minutes of that greatness. Yeah,
we
so
could
watch
not
out.
Go to break faster then.
No.
Sarah Strackhouse, how's it going? You are
going well.
our correspondent, keeping us up to date on the real info that's happening out there. What are some of the top stories?
All right, so today we are talking about the Supreme Court and the same-sex cake ruling. I think we kind of all remember this, been following it since 2012.
Good Lord, 4 years?
Yeah.
That's our
Yep.
that's our judicial system. 4
yeah.
Wait,
years it
6
takes to
years,
turn this
right?
around? Oh yeah,
2012?
6. It's 2018. Good Lord.
Keep forgetting that we're in
You're old,
2018
folks.
already.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, the Supreme Court has made a decision in favor of the Colorado baker who refused to make a wedding cake for the same-sex couple. Fox News reports that the backstory here, the baker Jack Phillips said he did not feel comfortable doing a cake for an event that was religious and sacred to him, and that conflicted with his conscience. The couple, Charlie Craig and David Mullins, made a formal complaint to the State Civil Rights Commission. So the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the baker, and this is kind of convoluted here, but citing the anti-religious bias from the Civil Rights Commission. So that's kind of how it all broke down.
So he doesn't have to make the cake. Long story short.
Long story short, he doesn't have to make the cake, and he doesn't get, he doesn't get any fines or any kind of, technical back.
They cited the anti-religious bias?
Anti-religious bias.
So they were biased towards non-religion.
Well,
that was the issue.
Apparently what they were saying is that the bias was towards him having religious beliefs and not wanting to make this cake for religious beliefs.
Right.
So they were saying that it was bias for the Civil Rights Commission to try to make him make this cake. So,
not to put you on the spot, but just help me kind of see the light on this one. Essentially what this means after a ruling like this going through the Supreme Court is that if you own a business, you can deny service to anybody for any reason.
What's funny is actually, so they stopped just short of making a rule about that. So they they ruled only on this case specifically and would not say a blanket statement. So that was kind of their big thing where they're like, we're not addressing that right now.
I read it was like a 7-2 vote. So it wasn't narrow or anything.
Not
but
at
like,
all.
really? You can't just come down either way. You're like, I guess not, except in this one specific case.
Yeah.
We'll let future Supreme Court figure that one out. Yeah, they're going to have to get to the bottom of this. But for now, that. Anyway, sorry.
No, that was exactly it.
That is so odd.
I'll try to find the exact line here. The narrow ruling, let me see here, focused on, in the 7-2 decision, the justices, and again, this is according to Fox News, the justices set aside a Colorado court ruling against the baker while stopping short of deciding the broader issue of whether a business can refuse to serve gay and lesbian people.
Because why have a Supreme Court, right, to make big decisions like that? That's ridiculous. No, they should just stop short of that every time.
They were ruling on this one case.
Right.
They're not making law.
But what an opportunity, right? It's knocking. You should seize it. Like this is the chance to decide this for the future.
Want to. They probably were like, you know what?
Let's boldly go into the dark, right? Like let's just decide one way or the other and settle it. But I guess we can look forward to more stories like this in the future.
Yeah, I think so.
Weird.
Next on the list, another Trump tweet. Are we all pretty shocked, right?
Okay.
Yep. In this one, he says, quote, as stated by numerous legal scholars, I have the absolute right to pardon myself, but why would I do that when I have done nothing wrong? And he kind of goes on to talk about, the quote-unquote witch hunt. And there you go. I think you can see up the tweet there. Well, according to CNN, this comes after one of his attorneys said that he probably does have the power to pardon himself, but won't because if he did, it would imply that he was guilty and therefore could immediately lead to impeachment.
Yeah. And that was his legal counsel, Giuliani. Yeah.
Giuliani, Rudy, yep. And the other thing, so this kind of all came back. The whole reason why pardoning was even brought up was because the New York Times published a 20-page letter from Trump's attorney and then lawyer to Robert Mueller saying that the president couldn't have committed obstruction in the Russia investigation. So again, everything kind of comes back to Russia.
Okay.
Yep.
Nope. Just gonna let that one go by.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Just
Yep. All right. Well,
there you go.
Well done.
Nice. Thank you. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, circling back, this conversation has continued to come up about out of New Jersey. Police have released body camera video after a woman claimed that police punched her on a beach in Wildwood Memorial Day weekend. I have been to that beach.
Is it nice?
Wow.
It is pretty nice. It's changed since I've been there.
Is it a lot more punching since the last time you were there?
Yeah. There's not quite as much punching. I mean, some, but not quite as much.
Come on.
Is the water as clear as Galveston supposedly was over the weekend? Did anybody else hear that?
I don't know.
Was that a myth?
I don't believe for a minute that Galveston water was clear.
Local news was reporting on it. Like for some reason, Galveston had clear water this weekend.
I don't believe it.
I don't either. I just saw it. Anyway, sorry. You've been to this beach. What exactly happened?
So CBS reports that police confronted a 20-year-old woman, Emily Weinman, for supposed underage drinking, and asked her to take a breathalyzer, to which she complied. Then police tried to cite her for possession of alcohol on the beach, but police said that she wouldn't cooperate. The video actually shows a scuffle. It does ensue on the body camera, but then the body camera cuts out. And then cell phone video shows after that the officer with his arm to her neck hitting her on the head. So according to CBS, the officer claims that she kicked him and spit on him. She claims she was spitting out sand. Weinman is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault on a police officer. Her lawyer says the officer definitely overreacted.
We almost covered this on the lunch break.
We came close on
Very
Friday.
close.
Yeah, on Friday we thought about doing it and other things.
We got busy.
Yeah. So here's
wasn't entertaining
here's the rub for me. Is watching that video. I know that there is a guy upstairs who consumes a lot of news, very intelligible, and he was saying that the officer was the aggressor throughout the entire process.
Basically in the wrong, yeah.
I watched the video. I read the article that he sent. I just disagree with his point of view.
Right.
But either way, whether you agree or disagree with the actions the officer took, the point I want to make is if we watch the video, there's the entire time she's being handcuffed. And being punched and being welcomed.
Right.
Thumbnail is so mean.
Yeah.
Look at that cop.
It's aggressive.
You can see the wedding ring on his fist.
Yeah.
Like, good Lord.
She's yelling for her baby daddy.
Oh my God.
Matt. She's
Yeah.
yelling, Matthew, Matt. He's choking me, Matthew. He's hitting me, Matthew. Like the whole time, it's just Matt. If you're Matt, you have to jump in.
Do you, though?
You have to.
You don't.
Did Matt jump in, though?
Matt did not jump in.
I was going to say, I didn't see a Matt.
Matt was standing there watching his supposed love of his life, the baby mama, getting allegedly, and I'm not going to say I agree with this statement, assaulted by police officers, and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's what. Speaking for all Matts, that's when in that situation. That's when in that situation you say, she's crazier than I thought. I'm gonna leave this one alone.
So here's my issue though. Like thinking back, like you have. So even if you don't get married, she's 20. God knows how old he is. You don't get married. You still have a kid together.
Right.
You have 18 years of your life that you're gonna spend. This was a family function. Allegedly, her aunt was there somewhere. He had friends that were all there. You have to jump in. This is worth being tased over and getting an arrest record for because she's crazy. Obviously, she's sober. That was a stone cold sober woman. That is a sober woman acting in that way. You are for the next 18 years the guy who stood by and watched me get punched
you're
by
gonna hear
the
about
cops.
that for a while.
Oh God, forever. So a tasing, that hurts. That's gone in a couple
But
seconds.
at least you did something if you were Matt. If you go out and get tased, like, even if it doesn't really solve anything.
Yeah,
What do you
would
do
think-
though? Andy on Facebook points out that's a good way to get shot. I mean, people are getting accidentally
True,
shot by backflips. Like that's a good way to step in the middle of this confrontation and be like, yo, I think I'll fight them also.
And I know in New Jersey and New York, they're not trained to just shoot or maim. They're trained to just shoot to kill.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah, no,
There's no
that's a lot.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of those deals, though. I still feel like maybe, I don't know, maybe you can get by with not being shot there.
Throw up a, excuse me.
Sir. The only
Sir, could you
time-
please stop punching her?
Yeah.
I'm going to hear
Hold
about
for
this
a
later.
moment, yeah.
Whenever she was put in the car, because again, I watched the entire like 10-minute dash cam or chest cam video. Whenever she was put in the car, all of a sudden Matt did make an appearance on camera, holding his
Thanks
baby.
for getting her.
By the way, yeah.
That might be, if you can cut back to the thumbnail, that might be Matt holding his baby. And another quick sidebar in the thumbnail. Whose legs are those in the bottom
Right?
frame? Your feet from a woman getting punched by a cop, and you're
just
still
chilling
laying
out.
out sunbathing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
who
you're
took
just
that
hanging
photo?
out.
What is that angle? Like, really? You couldn't figure out a better way to do that? Like, what? Anyway, sorry.
A lot of questions here.
That may have been Matt holding the kid.
Exactly.
so.
I think the best case scenario for Matt, and I mean this knowing that my significant other is watching this stream. If your significant other is getting punched by a cop on a beach, sober, your biggest problem is not the cop. Like, it's the person you've attached yourself to, in which case you should assess that situation, decide you stand the safe 10 to 15 feet away, and you shout, officer, officer, please. It's not the way it looks.
No, please don't do
And when the officer tells you to shut up, just do it. Be like, so I'll follow you to the station
Yeah.
then.
I'll be right behind you.
Lights on. I'll see you
My
there.
Lord.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Like shove the cop? What's it?
Well, the other thing is he's clearly holding a baby, so I feel like I wouldn't want to get into a scuffle while holding my little one.
Sure,
you know
sure.
what I mean?
But what I'm saying is that there was a group of them there. That
You're right.
you toss off the kid
Give
and
it to the
at
ant.
least dive in where you can see you're on the ground rolling around doing something.
Just trying.
Make him jump up and down.
making a
Look like you're
show.
doing something. Yeah.
Anything's better than just standing there, because he did approach the cop afterwards and was all of a sudden, after his wife was in the car, was much more angered and upset, and the cop was like trying to like come at the cop. The cop goes, "You're literally holding a baby. This is not the time. Think about your actions. You can handle any of this later on."
Yeah,
so
let's not get arrested right now.
yeah. That was my only take. Is Matt should have done something, one thing or the other. Go ahead. Last one.
All right, well, we have one last story. All right, I'm just going to read off the headline and let you guys react. Ready? Police finally catch serial toilet clogger targeted dozens bathrooms.
Oh no.
Yes.
They flushed
Targeted.
him out. Yeah.
Targeted, yes. So according to Metro, police have finally arrested the, quote, potty plugger.
Yeah.
He's a 33-year-old man arrested for vandalism, and he was sticking water bottles down the toilets. About 30 of them were clogged.
Okay.
Yeah, in a park in Sheboygan, Michigan, for about 2 years. 2 years he's been doing this, which is kind of, I feel like, ridiculous.
Yeah.
And apparently, sometimes the water bottles can't actually be pulled out, so the entire toilet had to be replaced. They've spent about $3,000 in replacing these toilets.
It's a fair bit of civil disobedience.
Yeah,
there.
a little bit for 2 years. Like, who does
What
that?
was his gripe? Did he have
I don't
something
know.
that he was complaining about? Or?
Nope. That's all the article said.
As somebody who's got family up that way, like, no surprise this happened in Michigan. Of course it did.
Sheboygan.
Like, Michigan has the only city in the entire United States that managed to go bankrupt. Detroit, its capital. Well, yeah, capital's Lansing, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Excuse me. They have Flint, Michigan. It still doesn't have clean water. They got pothole problems like you wouldn't believe if you've driven up there. And how they got a guy spending 2 years destroying public property, probably for some kind of absurd something he
Amusement?
did. No, I'll bet he got some kind of like charge for vandalism or something
Well,
out
sure,
there
yeah.
once. It was like, I'm going to stick it
Yeah.
to this park. Yeah,
for
I'm
2
gonna.
years.
I'll show you vandalism.
People in Michigan are vindictive. That snow just beats it into you. Let me tell you.
So wait, what was his? What was it? What about him? Was he? What was his age?
He was 33 years old.
33?
And they
Okay.
don't actually say his name in this article. But he did it he damaged a woman's bathroom at the Michigan Center
Oh, good
at least
Lord.
30 times in the past 2 years.
So
Maybe he
just the
thought they
women's
wouldn't know it was
bathroom?
him.
Yeah, the woman's bathroom.
I can almost guarantee that was, well, they'll never think it was me.
No, yeah, they'll never
It was-
suspect me.
It was in the
And
women's
he was
bathroom.
Like the thing that's so interesting is he was like sticking the bottles in the pipes. So it must have gone like all the way up the hole in the toilet.
How do you think he was doing that? Probably put in a water ball and like try to kick it in with your shoe?
It's
Maybe
probably
he's using
maybe
his
some sort
hands.
of
Honestly.
pipe or like
No, he's
something
in
to shove it
Michigan.
down
He's
in there.
not that. No.
he's created a device.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The
my
potty
God.
plugger.
What an odd man. 2 years of your life going to a park sneaking into the women's
There's
bathroom.
something else going on
Stuff
with this
Making
guy. I
sure
guarantee
no
you.
women
Toilets.
were around so you could sneak in there and doing that. Like, for
They had
2 years.
They had like posters eventually that said, "If you notice any damage to the public bathrooms, please call the Sheboygan Police Department immediately."
Man, I bet they got a lot of calls because this is a public park in Michigan. I bet they got calls every day. Hi, yeah, the roof is leaking and this place sucks. The hand
There's
dryer
writing on the
doesn't
wall.
work. Yeah, like the lock on the stall is broken again.
But bathrooms bring out the worst in people. I worked as a sacker, and when I was in high school, I worked at a grocery store called the Brookshire Brothers. They're a group. There's Brookshires, and then they had a split. Either way, I worked for Brookshire Brothers.
The old Brookshire War. Of,
Of 17, whatever
Sure.
it was. I worked for the one in Carthage, Texas, and I saw the most disgusting things imaginable in the women's bathroom, particularly.
Yeah.
Men are gross, sure, but it was like the natural, everyday gross. Women would do things that I wouldn't know how particles got where they got. Like there's no you had to
Particles.
bring outside tools.
Sure.
Yeah, to get to accomplish.
You needed a contraption of
Yeah.
some sort.
This was like there was
Make this happen.
no way that substance should have ended up in that part of the wall. Other than you had to have outside help. So again, I think it's just bathrooms in general. I don't blame Sheboygan. I just blame something about bathrooms and people, and they just get angry and things happen. I have no idea.
Not specifically women, of course.
I only ever saw that
in that one instance, in that one place.
No, I don't think it's one instance. I've heard this before as well. I mean, not to say that men aren't gross, but I have definitely heard that women's bathrooms can be a nightmare.
Yeah, men's bathrooms are gross, and they're gross more often. But they're like normal gross, like plunger is required, or like something's in the corner. A normal amount of gross.
Yeah.
Wait. Let's back up here. Let's define this. What is a normal amount of gross?
Yeah, let's.
Like I can see like you try to do like
you're really dragging us down. In the in the dirt here.
Hearing a guy in the other stall take a phone call like in the middle of.
Oh no, I mean like just clean up. Like I've seen before someone doing like an upper decker.
You've actually seen somebody do that?
Not seen them, but I've seen the after effect of the upper decker.
Door wide open.
Yeah. Different gross stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
But for the girls' bathrooms, it was like a different, like it was more creative. It was like more of a creative discussion.
A certain amount of intentionality to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it had to have been.
There was one, it was like 6 foot up, and it was a rainbow. Like a rainbow of particles. Yeah, dung. Thank you.
I said gunk, but dung works too.
And it was like, how?
Can we go to break?
I love that like nobody jumps on like the presidential pardon thing.
Oh yeah, no.
But this is like perfect conversation.
It's our wheelhouse, baby.
Yeah.
Fodder. Up next, though, we do have Apple is going to tell you to get off of your phone. The phone company Apple is encouraging you to get off of your screens. That's
also part 2 of Party Boy.
Coming up next.
Police said you stay inside so you don't get in trouble, so I did what he said. So
Why don't you take this opportunity now to apologise to your parents and to your neighbours who have said today that they were frightened?
Well, I've already offered to say sorry to them and stuff when I see them, so I will say sorry now for everything that happened.
Why don't you take your glasses off so we can see you, and then apologise to your neighbours for frightening them?
Nah, I'll leave these on. Nah, I like them.
They might be fined $20,000. Are you going to try and pay that for them?
Yeah, but I don't think it's fair they'll be fined it, because what happened, it was my party, but it could have just been any random person walking in the street doing it. What happens all the time.
Your parents were out of town, you put out the invitation, you started it. Why don't you make a grown-up decision now and accept responsibility, take off those glasses and apologise to everybody that you frightened?
Man, she was really fixated on those glasses.
Oh, it gets worse. And by worse, I mean much, much better. Like, the last minute, I think, is my favorite bit. Not to just, like, keep teasing it out, but seriously, like, it is an interview that only ages like fine wine. Gets better as it goes.
I love it.
I started off hating this guy. Now I'm kind of rooting for him to win. That reporter was vicious.
Yeah.
Like, it's not your role to be the like what?
Oh, she was like his mom.
Arbiter, yeah.
Oh yeah. Apologized. She didn't want to get down to the bottom of the story. She just wanted to shame this guy on national television.
No.
Clearly a very cool dude.
We got another break in here, right? Somewhere in the next.
We'll have to take. We'll have to take one.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really. I mean, well, we've got 15 minutes left.
I'm too into it. Yeah.
I will fly through this last story. Apple is telling you to get off of your phones. Now, what I mean by that is that they're having a conference right now, and they realize that people are becoming they don't want to use the word addicts, but they say they're spending too much time on their phones. They're careful not to use the word addiction in their phones. They're saying on average, people spend up to like 9 to so many hours a day on their phone scrolling through. They're trying to cut that down to an even 5. So there's a
good healthy 5 hours a day on your phone.
Healthy 5 Apple, yeah. They're coming up with an app, and the app is designed to track how much time you spend on your phone. I know this app already exists because our very own Samantha Knight has one.
Yeah.
I think there are third-party apps that do this or something like that.
But this is going to be built into the phone.
Apple's very clever that way. In the same way with their like night mode or whatever, you can set your phone in to adjust to like a warm light at night, I think, so it's better on your eyes and it's not as bad for your brain late at night when you're trying to go to sleep. Somebody else came up with that before them. So Apple does this really clever thing where somebody comes up with a great idea and then they push their app off the App Store and add it in an update to their phone, so it's just on there now. Yeah, it's very clever, and that is what this is. But that's business practice aside. I guess it's a good thing. They're trying to get people to use their phones less.
They're worried, they're worried about digital wellness, and that is what their key phrase is they're concerned about how you do that, and so they're going to brand it to where they make sure you are doing a good job of staying well. They say that people who spend more time on their phone, up to 9 hours plus, tend to be more unhappy.
I shouldn't just immediately compare this to drugs, but in a very brief aside, this is like the guys who make cocaine in Colombia finding out people die of cocaine overdose. Like, what, you're just gonna make it safer now? Like, you've already unleashed it on the world.
As much cocaine as you've been using.
Let's take it easy, gang. Like, we know it's great, but relax.
Spend that money on a monkey instead. How about?
Like, I get what you're going for, but like, one, why is it suddenly your job? Why are you suddenly looking out for the well-being of people? Is it because like that's you actually want people to feel good when they use your stuff, or is it because like it's just the new hot thing? Like, oh, Apple's looking out for us, good old Apple. Like, maybe next time I buy a phone, it'll be an iPhone. Like, is it genuine or is it business? And it feels a little bit like business. It doesn't feel like.
I'm sure there's some business to it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't there be?
Right.
If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So
exactly.
Of course, it's business. Everything they do.
Listen to that.
Boom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Boom. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And that is exactly their model that they're going to do. And so, but this is a good way to accomplish two of those things at the exact same time.
Right.
And say, hey, we want you to be on our phone less. And then that goes, hey, wow, they really care about me and not their product.
Right.
Either way, you're still buying their phone, you're still downloading their app, you're still using their services.
Yeah.
That's not going to change. But these things, there's no dollar amount you can put on. Like, no one's going to buy their phone now because it has that app. They'll just download the app on their Droid.
Sure.
Bing. But it's one of those things that, you know, I think for the most part, it's a, hey, we want you to truly be happy using the phone. Because what they don't want is over a long period of time of me being like, hey, I haven't been happy since I bought this thing. I'm going to stop using it.
In a way, it feels like reverse psychology, right? Apple comes out and they're like, listen, we know you love our phones, and we want you to use it less. Just use our phone less than you already do, and it'll be great. Like, they know, and they want people to keep using them because the longer you use an iPhone, the more likely you are to spend money on that iPhone that Apple gets a cut of. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess I get the approach, but I'm not fooled.
Well, it's not a matter of fooling or not. This is I guess could be a win-win scenario. If they feel like it could lead to people being happier having their phones and not wanting to switch off of smartphones or whatever, then great. But if it also makes you happier, you have your smartphone, but it also gives you a tool to not feel so miserable, then I don't think it's a matter of fooling or not fooling. It sounds like it's not a bad thing necessarily.
I don't appreciate the judgment. Like, I'd rather Apple spend their time figuring out.
I guess.
I'd rather Apple spend their time figuring out how to make my battery last 4 years instead of 2.
Maybe use it less.
And less time in
that's
telling
make
me
your
how to
battery
live
last
my
longer.
life with your device. Like, I paid 600 bones. I'll use it how I want. And if I want to be on it for 12 hours a day, it's going to happen. Obviously, I don't. But for some people do, and that's fine, I guess.
They're not telling you, there's not a cutoff. Like, you're being able now to track how much time you spend.
Yeah.
So you're able to go, hey, I spent 12 hours today trolling through Reddit. I probably shouldn't do that.
Another company has done a thing like this. They did it a while back, and it was the Nintendo. When the Nintendo Wii came out,
Wii.
right?
Yeah.
They had this feature in a lot of games that I guess was built in for like parents to encourage kids to get out and exercise. It'd pop up like in Wii Sports, and you're playing tennis with your friends.
Right.
It would pop up and be like, "Hey, you've been playing a while. Don't you think you should go outside?" And every time I'd be like, "Well, how about you don't tell me how to live my life, Nintendo? How about that?" Like, I spent the money on this. I'm going to do what I want with it.
I'm
how
doing
about
this
that?
to get away from going outside.
I don't need my devices telling me how to live. I don't need, So I don't know.
That was not the first time I've ever cursed at a console.
Sure.
But that was the first time I've ever cursed at a Wii console playing Wii tennis. 'Cause it did. Like,
that bubbly music.
Don't you want to go outside? Like, no, I don't want to go outside.
No, I don't.
You make me put my weight and height into your thing, so you get a little like bubble waddle man out there. Yeah, no,
Right, yeah.
I'm already mad at you.
Right. It's not like a seatbelt alarm in a car that like dings when you're driving without your seatbelt. Like that has a much more direct safety feature. This is I don't know. I'm just not impressed. I guess.
Well, either way, that's what Apple's doing. Hopefully you can share and comment. We come back up next. We have more food news, and if we have time, Zach's soapbox. There's room for you as well. Coming up next on the Lunch Break Show.
Who were forced to retreat and whose cars have been damaged, and to the community who've had to pay for this. Take your glasses and apologise to us.
I'll say sorry, but I'm not taking off my glasses.
Why not?
Because they're famous.
Because your glasses are famous.
Yeah,
Why are your glasses famous?
I know. Everyone likes them, so I know. I'm not taking them off.
You're pretty happy with the way you look and the attitude you've got, are you?
Yeah, my parents aren't, but I am.
Okay, Corey, we've got to wrap this up, but what would you say to other kids who were thinking of partying when their parents are out of town?
Get me to do it for you.
Get you to do it for you. Not don't do it.
Nah, get me to do it for you. Best party ever so far. Well, that's what everyone's been saying, so...
Well, we've got to go, but I suggest you go away and take a good long hard look at yourself.
I have. Everyone has. They love it.
Oh, man.
I love it.
You know what? If I was having a party, I would want this kid to throw it.
Yeah. Honestly, if I was having a party, I'd call that kid up. Like, hey, we need a real rager. What can you do?
What can you do? Good for him. And those glasses are pretty dope. I'm sure they've sold out of whatever website that has them.
Sure, yeah, they're famous.
Yeah, they are famous.
Everybody loves them. I love everything about that guy.
Oh, God. Yeah, you want to hate him so bad.
Oh, I would hate him if I knew him personally, but I love that he's in Australia doing his thing and just making himself famous on local
I love
news.
he's 16. No regard for authority. Doesn't even bother
16?
putting.
Well, he looks
16.
He looks way old. That's a hard 16.
Doesn't well, he
brother.
grew up in Australia. Doesn't bother putting a shirt on. Like doesn't get dressed for news. Doesn't even take his glasses off. I love it.
You know what though? Here's the deal. The parents are gonna try to blame like the kid. No kid gets to that point by parents being involved, interacting. Teachable moments early on. That kid has a nipple ring.
Yeah.
At 16, he has a nipple ring. That's something you do when you're in college.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. His parents went out of town, and he threw the biggest party in Australia's history, and he's 16 years old. You don't get to have a kid like that without a couple steps along the way.
To me, that
know?
kid sounds like an entrepreneur.
He's a regular Ferris Bueller.
Yeah. He's peaked.
He probably has. No, you're right. He probably has.
That video last week was 10 years old. So he is now 26, and like who knows what he's up to? I know.
Oh, I thought that was recently. Yeah, I would love to know the behind the scenes. Where are they now?
I know.
Where's VH1 when you need it?
10 years
behind the party.
he deserves a reality show. At the very least, I hope he's doing that professionally. Like
Dude, he needs to be.
worldwide.
Yeah, they need to follow him around.
Why
and
couldn't?
throwing
Yeah, why
parties
couldn't he
for
be
kids.
a party guy? Yeah, why not?
Either way, food news. Of course, it wouldn't be a lunch break show without a little bit of food news. We have one thing. Sad news is that romaine. Take two. Romaine lettuce is still killing people. So do not eat salads.
No good.
Yeah, stick to fried chicken.
Yeah,
I ran into
it's
some
not
trouble.
killing anybody.
Yep.
I ran into some trouble with the romaine lettuce thing a while back. Like a while back. I probably should have talked about it back then, but I just remember the story. I was going to a Italian pizza pasta place near us.
All right.
Yeah, and I got this cool scheme worked out where I can like walk over on a nice evening. So I was walking over there and I was going to order food.
What a scheme.
Thank you.
I order it, guys. I order it and they give it to me.
Look, my life's not that exciting. All right, I gotta spice it up. Big words make it seem exciting.
Sure, yeah.
So I was walking over and I was calling him, calling him up to order. And I just course correct here. I was calling him up to order about 15 minutes before I got there. So I call in my order and I tell him, hey, I want to order the chicken for me and the chicken Alfredo for Christine. And I told him,
Good
hey,
choices.
listen, I know you guys do like the house salad on the side with the entrees. I didn't see any option for this in the menu, but like I just heard about this romaine lettuce thing, and it kind of spooked us a little bit. Can I sub something in for the salad? Like, can I get a soup or something? And they were like, no, we don't do that. I was like, oh, okay, but like you guys saw the thing about the lettuce, right? It's supposed to be nationwide. People aren't supposed to be eating romaine lettuce. Like, well, yeah, we saw it, but our lettuce is good. Sure it is. That's what everybody else said immediately leading up to these events. I'd like something subbed out for the salad. They were like, can't help you. That's it. I was like, this is it.
Did they not have any other sign item that?
That they could sub in, I guess.
Yeah,
I was like, this is a nationwide thing. I didn't make this up. Like, I didn't just arrive at this. They have signs at the grocery store. They're like, don't buy the lettuce. They're taking it off shelves. Like, Subway is dealing with it. What are you guys doing?
Did you get the salad?
Of course.
Did you eat it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was freaked out about it.
So we don't know.
Enough to have this conversation on the phone with a stranger, at least. So, yeah. I
was giving you some Italian music in the background.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry. There it is. Yeah. So I don't know. That was me getting beaten by the man again, I guess.
Well,
your scheme didn't work out that day.
Yeah, it turns out it wasn't so great of a scheme.
I will say this, that the bad romaine is only coming from certain parts of the U.S.
So they've slimmed it down.
So they know it's like, and I want to say it's like there's like 3 or 4 states. I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
But it's those states. And so they'll say our lettuce comes from blank.
Right.
I don't know how they verify that or prove it, but here, I go on good faith. I do know of someone here in DFW who has gotten it.
Really?
Yeah, you go in, like, hey, I have listeria. The doctor goes, can we notify the CDC? They say yes, and then everything goes.
Do you know where that person got the sick from?
I don't know.
All right, so
we
don't know how people identify this lettuce.
So
we don't know where it comes from.
Yeah.
We don't know where in DFW you might get sick.
I do know if your restaurant says we know about the story, it comes from one of those 4 states, you're fine.
We are not listerical here.
Yeah. I will say this. Speaking of food news, I do have a story that happened to me yesterday.
Yeah.
I went. So this is kind of. I'm gonna take 2 steps back to go one step forward.
Please.
We went to a splash park with our son.
Okay.
We were invited. There's a place in Allen. I think it's called like Splash Ground instead of Playground.
Yeah, there was a Facebook video. It was cute. You guys were wearing matching sunglasses. It was rad.
Of course, yeah. We're pretty dope.
Sure.
And so anyway, so we go to the splash pad and we're dressed in our bathing suits and different stuff. And he had a ball. We had a ball. It was great. And then so we're with 2 other couples, and they go, "Hey, let's grab a quick bite to eat." Oh yeah, that would sound like fun. And so one of the couples goes, "Hey, I know this place that's close by, Paula Dean's Kitchen." Like
Sign me up.
Yeah, how fancy could
the Paula Dean?
Yeah,
wow.
How fancy could that be? You know, it's Paula Dean's kitchen, so there's
butter on everything.
Yeah, so we're not like expecting it to be like this like classy establishment. So we walk in again, our hair's all fried, suntan lotion all over us. Kids and they're all in various forms of disarray. Walk in and turns out it's a little bit more high class than what we were expecting.
Really?
And to top it off, Paula Dean was going to be there.
Oh, really?
So Paula Dean was making an appearance at 1 o'clock at this same location here in Fairview.
Yeah.
So we get a table. We sit down, and for the first time, I experienced, I'm sure, the look that I gave other parents who brought their kids into a restaurant.
Yeah.
The glare.
The glare. Okay, wait. I feel like that glare is normally reserved for like kids who are being loud or obnoxious.
So, but kids are loud and they are obnoxious. It's just like in their nature. So my son, if he doesn't have food like in his hand, he goes, "Ma!"
Okay.
Yum, 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 yum. And he'll yell for more food. And so you just have to keep funneling food into his hand to keep him quiet.
Right. I forgot your son is 1 and acts like a 1-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
And the other couple had another 1-year-old who also acts like a 1-year-old. And every once in a while, they have a thing called like finding their voice, which is they just scream for no reason.
Right. Yeah.
Just, bah! Just no reason at all.
Just cursing up a storm.
Feel that screaming.
Basketballs.
Basketballs.
And the other two kids are all well behaved. They're 8 and I think 3 or 4. I have no idea. I think 3. And then again, great kids, but they're kids. They want to play and they want to like move around.
Yeah.
And just a general it's just sense of like herding cats the entire time you're there with kids.
Sure.
And so every other person there, and again, it was the day Paula Deen was coming in. So Fairview, like
Fairfield.
the high class society of Fairview came out to be there for Paula Deen. So it was all Southern gentlemen and Southern belles with their hairs all ready to go because they knew a photo op with Paula was about to go down.
Right.
And so everyone,
You got to get one of those.
Yeah, I just saw the stares every time I saw someone go. Bah! Or,
Did she show up while you were there?
No, she was tardy.
Okay.
So one person said she was going to be there at 11 o'clock. That was not true. One person said 12. Also not true. We left at 12:30. Heard it would be 1. I have no idea whether she showed up or not.
So
you stuck it out though.
We had lunch.
Yeah.
And we already ordered. And it's so by the way, if you ever get a chance to go, the food's fine. The food's phenomenal. And it's kind of like Babe's chicken.
Oh no.
But I think the chicken's actually better than Babe's.
Yeah.
Which is a bold statement for me.
Well, that's all butter.
That is a bold statement.
Yeah. And it's $17.99 on the lunch, and you get to
Per person?
You get to pick 2 sides and 4 sides, 2 main courses.
Wow. That's like family style.
And it's family style, and they'll keep refilling until you're done.
Oh man.
So she lost money today on me because I hadn't had breakfast. And I had a lot of fried chicken.
Well, that and all the guilt. Do you feel like you said this is the first time you've really gotten the parent stare?
The first time, yeah.
What kind of shame comes with that, if any?
I mean, it's not. I understand now when I gave that look to families,
Yeah.
and I was like, Chuck E. Cheese is also a thing, guys. Like that look that you
Have you
give,
heard of McDonald's?
Yeah, it's a place for your kind of people.
Yeah.
The look that you give, and I realize now the look I was getting back was what I gave back was like, say something. Like, I'm so tired.
Do something.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I've spent a whole day chasing
Smell
around.
like chlorine.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. I'm sun-beaten. I'm hungry.
Right.
And I was just told there was unlimited fried chicken coming my way. So
You're not getting in the middle of me and this fried chicken.
Yeah. You don't want none of this, good sir.
I've heard it said before about those little like yellow warning hangers you can put in your car that's like caution baby on board.
Mm-hmm.
I used to always look at those and wonder like who cares? Like we're all driving the same whether or not your baby is in the car. Like nobody's intending to hit you. That's why they call it a car accident. It's irrelevant to let me know your baby's in the car.
Yeah.
And then I realized it's not for the baby, it's for the driver because whoever's behind that wheel is exhausted and doesn't care anymore.
Yep.
And they will cut you off in traffic.
Watch out for
it. Does
like
not
a
matter.
student driver.
Yes, like the rules are not the same for them. They are on a different playing field, and I think it's important to approach any
Give
parental
this person a
situation
wide
with that.
berth.
I'm
So-
a big fan, never of the stare of the like, good lord, this person's being obnoxious, of just like the casual look. Your kid makes a sound, you just kind of like look over, and then you just look back at what you're doing, which again is still a lot. It's a lot for a parent. I get it when the whole restaurant turns and looks back.
Very
but
passive aggressive.
It's, I heard a sound. I heard a loud cry. I think it's natural for anybody to look over and see, okay, there's a parent, things are all right. And you resume what you're doing. To be fair to people in the comments, it is a little obnoxious when a kid is doing that, but I think we can all agree that. You've done the stare, I've done the stare, Matt's done the stare. We've all done it, right?
Here's I think the defining difference between it's okay to give a stare and it's not okay to give a stare. And even when I didn't have kids, I would go, okay, fine, because I know at the heart of it, kids are kids, and you can try, and you have to get out. You can't stay in your house forever. You'll go crazy.
Sure.
So you have to go someplace, and I refuse to go to like fast food, or I don't want to go to fast food, or to like Chuck E. Cheese or whatever it is that kids want to. And he's one. He doesn't care where he goes.
Right.
Either way, I think as long as the parents are engaging, like if they're trying to, they understand the issue and they're trying.
They're making an effort.
Making an effort.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of times I've gotten like furious are the like 3 or 4 or 5-year-olds who are left at a different table.
Oh yeah.
And like, hey, just I don't care. Like they're like, you know what? Like this restaurant is not your babysitter.
Right.
You don't get to sit at a different table and not engage with your kids so that you and your girlfriends can have wine.
Yeah.
That's not how this is going to work. And so those types I get mad at.
Right.
If a parent is sitting there and the kid's having a freak out and the mom's trying to like fix it, or hey, you want this, you want that, or whatever, like, is trying to solve the problem, I'm totally fine.
Right. If you can follow through with redemption on the actual being an authoritative parent part, that flips me around fast. Man, if a kid's being loud and a parent stands up and grabs him by the arm and is like, we're going outside, I'm like, I'll stand up and applaud. Yeah, that's the stuff.
Can I watch?
Ooh, somebody's in trouble. Like, I love it. Yeah. So I agree. I think.
You know what's funny is like most people who I think would stare and go like, I can't believe that kid's so unruly, but would be the same person if you got up to take him outside to go have a come to Jesus meeting. To go outside would be like, I can't believe that they're punishing.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's that same, like, you can never win as a parent.
No.
And so you just it's all a crapshoot. You just try.
But you can't at least, again, don't have a kid, just going to throw some judgment out there. Like, you got to be ready to pull the car over. If you're like, I'll pull the car over, we'll turn around, I don't care. Like, you got to do it, right?
Oh, yeah, you have to.
And if you can do that, I think you're in a good space.
A friend of mine, we'll close on this. A friend of mine had a son who was 3 or 4 and had his, like, ultimate, like, I'm going to pout, and took all the clothes out of his dresser and threw them on the floor.
Nice.
Like, that's my, like, protest.
Oh, sure.
And the parent said, look, if you don't clean up the clothes, we're not going to go to this house with the pool party that you've been looking forward to all week long. We're not going to the pool party until you clean up the clothes.
Yep.
It was a family function, family event. Either way, 6 hours later, they still did not leave because the clothes wouldn't. He thought, you know what, she'll bend. And she didn't.
Yep.
So, like, good for you. Good parenting.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's the out for us. For Paula Deen, I want to play one of our favorite songs here as we go to break, which is of course, the fried chicken song that we love so much. No. Again, you gotta give it a shot. Go for lunch, not for dinner. It's the exact
I'm all about,
same.
where is this again? Addison?
It's in Fairville.
Fairville.
Fairview.
Fairview.
Yeah.
And wait. You say high class, right? You said it was classy,
class.
right? But like, what are we talking here?
It's higher class than Chili's.
Can you wear jeans?
You can wear jeans with a button down.
Okay.
Or a nice polo.
Jeans with a button down or a polo. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
So not a suit and tie. It's just not a bathing suit bottom.
Not your Sunday's bests.
If you're paying $18 a plate for lunch, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. So either way, the lunch and the dinner are the exact same food. It's just $5 less for lunch. So
there. Pro tip.
Pro tip. There you go. Paula Deen, fried chicken. Thank you guys. See you on Wednesday right here at 12 o'clock.
Fried chicken. Gimme fried chicken. Baby, it's all that I want to take me through the day. Gimme fried chicken. I want it bona fide, southern fried. Tennessee, guaranteed, it's okay with me. I want it hot, deep fried. I'm on the Memphis. Hot wings, hot thighs, all